Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Venus Rising. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today, and again apologizing about the quality of my videos. Since I've decided to restart my channel, I had a lot of videos saved from when I first attempted to do this channel like 2 years ago, and then I went through some personal stuff and then had to stop. And then I've filmed about like 3 better quality videos over the course of the last couple of months, or like more than 3, but they would not upload. Like they were very fun. Um, they like had to do with like some astrological transitions or astrological transit, I mean, and like I did a really fun Renaissance themed one, but I also did this during my career retrograde, so I'm to blame. Um, so those, unfortunately, are lost. If you guys are really interested in it, then let me know. I have one on the Venus Could See Me. Like the messages sort of like applied for a wide range of like time frames. So I was looking at the period after, and same with like the blue moon reading that I did. But unfortunately, it would not upload in time, and the videos wouldn't render. So here we are. So I am trying something new with my setup. So please just bear with me as I restart my channel. I'm really trying to commit to not doing it perfect, but just doing it. But yeah, so today we are going to be doing one of my favorite types of readings to read for. Also, happy Libra season to my fellow Libras. My birthday was fairly recently. So shout out to Libra gang. And in the spirit of that, and Venus just moved into Virgo, we're going to be doing a love reading. Yay! So today is all going to be about what your person is thinking and feeling and seeing like what intentions they have. So I've got 3 piles for you guys to choose from, and I'll try and do a close-up of each of the crystals. Remember, try and pick with your third eye and your intuition rather than your physical eye, so that you can get the messages that most resonate with you. And again, like if there are no messages, I may not just be the reader for you today, or this just may not be your reading. You can try another pile or come back when I've got more videos up, and hopefully one of them will resonate with you. Okay. So without further ado, I'll just break down the reading really quickly. So we're going to be doing an energy check. So we will just be going over like what is the general sort of vibe of your relationship and like the energy of your connection, and then going over what your person's thinking in their head, heart, and like 5D self. And then I was going to say spirit, and that was not what it is. And then we will be going into some and looking at their intentions, what actions that they have planned towards your connection, if any. And we may look at some other things, but it just really depends on the vibe of the pile. So without further ado, so this is a gorgeous, I believe, will you focus? Nope, you're focusing straight in on the amethyst. Okay, so it's an angel something. I got this when I was in Jamaica and I lost all those sheets, but I will find this out. Um, this is an amethyst from Canada. One of my good friends sent it to me. No, this is an amethyst from London, actually. And then this is a gorgeous citrine. So without further ado, take all the time you need. You can pause the video, take a break, get some tea, get cozy, and I'll see you in your pile. Bye. Hello, pile one. You've picked this gorgeous, gorgeous stone, which I will figure out what the name of it is one day, but we'll call it Gorgeous Bub for now. Welcome to your reading. So today's reading is all about what is your person thinking and feeling about you, and we'll take a look at any intentions that they may have for you and your connection. To start off with, we're going to do a very quick energy test. So we're going to do this in person A, person B style, but I won't go in depth into it. It's really just a quick energy check to see if the messages resonate for you. And then we'll get into what's in their mind, their heart, and what their 5D self is, as long as any other messages and intentions. So before we get started, I do want to note that when I was shuffling to do your energy check, that the card for person A took a really, really long time to come out. I was shuffling the deck like, okay, are you guys actually together? So it might be that for some of you, you guys haven't actually met in the 3D yet, so the connection hasn't taken any sort of physical form as of yet. Or it could just be that person A really isn't focused on the connection for now, but I did want to mention that. Whereas person B, the card shot right out. So person B is locked and loaded and ready to go. So we've got the Temperance for person A and the Five of Pentacles for person B. This actually makes a lot of sense. So the Temperance is one of the major arcanas, but for me, it always feels like it has to do with balance. It has to do with divine timing. So I feel like for many of you, you might not actually have connected in the 5D as of yet. The Temperance card is all about creating balance and harmony. It gives me heavy Libra vibes, even though it's not the Libra card, Justices. But what I would say is that the Temperance person is more focused on themselves and their own energy. So it's not necessarily to mean that they aren't, if you have met in the 3D, that they aren't thinking about you and the connection at all, but it's to say that their focus is more internal, and it's seeming like they're coming into divine alignment with themselves and with their purpose. With that, like, the reason I don't think that if it is in the 3D that they aren't focused on it is because the Temperance person is looking at person B or the Five of Pentacles, whereas the Five of Pentacles is looking away. So I feel like there is some sort of energy where, like, if you guys haven't met yet, the person is still person A, and if you aren't person A is still looking towards the connection and maybe thinking about, like, when am I going to meet my counterpart or my next partner, but also more focused on building that foundation for themselves so that when they come into this partnership, that they can do so on the right footing. And that would apply, like, if you have or haven't met the person sort of as of yet. I'd say, like, there is some awareness of you, like, in the 3 or 5D, but it doesn't necessarily look like they're actively engaging in this connection. Whereas person B, my loves with the Five of Pentacles, like, I'm getting a very dejected energy. So with the Five of Pentacles, a person is looking away and walking away. And Five of Pentacles is all around. I'm also an intuitive reader. I always forget to mention that at the beginning. So I'll sometimes do, like, traditional meanings, but a lot of the times I'll do intuitive messages. So what I'm getting intuitively is, like, this feeling of dejection and this feeling of, like, I've put in all of these pentacles and nothing seemed to pass. Like, I've put in this to build this window to peer out into, like, what our future could be. So it could be that person B is feeling actually quite dejected and despondent around this connection and not really sure what to do, if anything, and not really sure how to bring this connection into fruition. And it could be because A, if you haven't met this person, or person B and person A don't know each other in the 3D. And then I would say person B is a person who's more likely has been in this energy of, like, oh, where's my person? How do I find them, etc. And then person A is sort of still kind of looking, but not as heavily invested as person B is at this moment. And person B is giving me this feeling of like, when will it ever happen? And like giving me this feeling that they're starting to lose hope. So if this sounds like your connection, then continue reading or continue watching. I'll try and put these here. I'm going to use another stone just to prop that up. So we have, there's another citrine. I love citrine. So to do today's reading, I get to do something very, very special, which is use a very limited edition friend that one of my really good friends made for me, which is the Tarot and the City. So shout out to all my Sex and the City fans. This is the unauthorized Sex and the City tarot deck. So we will be pulling a card from this to go over. Okay, so what is Spirit? Can you tell me how one person is thinking about their connection? Can you tell me how one person is thinking about their connection? How one person is thinking about the connection. I want it to come out. What's in their heart? Ooh. What's how one person in the heart? This one fell, but I'm trying to get it without. And what does their higher self feel about this connection? Oh, okay. So for this, I do want to read from the guidebook. So we'll start. Actually, we'll start with their 5D self. So we've got Justice. So yes, Libra vibes. Our Queen Miranda Hobbs. I am getting kind of like, that's the hard thing about doing person A or person B. Like, I really don't want to tell you who you are. But if I had to guess, and if it is likely, then I'd say the Temperance person is likely. So we'll read from the guidebook. So Justice is all about fairness, truth, boundaries, and accountability. When Miranda pulls her neck fighting with Charlotte and calls Carrie to come peel her off the bathroom floor, Carrie sends Aiden to do the job. When Carrie, oblivious to what she's done, shows up at Miranda's apartment the next day with good bagels, Miranda rightfully calls Carrie out. If you're going to unjustly shirk your BFF duties, at least the least you could do is bring cream cheese. This can be a bit of a tough love card, but is a reminder that the highest and most ideal form of justice is reflective of the greatest good, regardless of how you might feel about it. So yeah, so the person 5D self, I'd say, like, when it comes to this connection, isn't as focused on your connection, to be completely honest, my love. They're still very much in their own energy, and it's not to say that they don't necessarily want partnership. Like, I haven't picked up on that yet, but their focus isn't on that. And even in their 5D self, like, they're not really looking for active partnership, which is weird because normally I read like the Justice card as about like can be partnerships because it's Libra, but I'm not really getting the vibe from this depiction or the energies we've read so far. For how they're thinking, we've got the High Priestess and okay, cool. Sorry about that. We've got the High Priestess. There we go. And the King of Cups. Let me actually just pull all of them. And then for what's in their heart, we've got the Chariot. So we've got the Seven of Swords and the Chariot. Give me 1 second. Your person is feeling very conflicted, and that's kind of like symbolized through the messages that we've gotten here and the messages that we've gotten so far. So with what they're thinking, they've gotten a lot of major arcana. So what I would say is that like divine timing is at play in this connection. And if it will come into sort of fruition, then, which I'm going to be very honest, I don't fully see like partnership vibes for you guys. I'm really sorry. Because this person seems very conflicted about what they want and very much focused on what their energy is and like what they're, what they're doing with their life, which is fair. Like we all have our right to be selfish. And I don't think like being selfish in that way is necessarily a bad thing, but to draw our energy back on ourselves. But okay, so the High Priestess here, I want to read from the guidebook. As our heart priestess, Magda represents divine intuition and the subconscious. Throughout the series, Magda is a quiet supporter and mother figure to Miranda. She rarely speaks but knows much more than she lets on. This call cards for you to draw on your intuition. It is not the time for action, but for reflection, meditation, and revelation. So it feels like your person, this is what they're thinking. Like they're very torn. So they're really thinking about like what does partnership look like for them. And with the King of Cups, they're really focused on what they have to offer and what potentially they have to offer you if you guys have met, or even in the 5D, if you're thinking about like, okay, like, is this somebody, where is my future partner, my future spouse? They're really reflecting on what do they have to offer you and like how do they bring that into sort of alignment. Like they've gotten 3 major arcana cards. So what is currently happening right now is that they're getting in touch with their higher self, and if they are religious and if they are spiritual in any kind, like getting in touch with whatever deities or spirits that they believe in, to come to figure out what this alignment is, to really focus on what do they have to offer, because they don't want to come with an empty cup. And they're thinking about this to say, okay, like what can I actually bring to this connection? What can I offer? And I think it's a very mature energy to be in. It's not necessarily one that, can be the most overtly romantic, but I think what is romantic about it is that you are thinking about someone who is more than willing to really sit with themselves and come to terms with like what they have to heal and what they have to offer before bringing it into you and your connection. Definitely, if we move over to the heart, we've got the Chariot, which this is sort of like, this scene depicts like Samantha and Richard, and this again depicts Samantha. So the 7 of Swords is an energy of deception. So what they're feeling is like they're not really ready to, like, their thoughts and emotions right now are very like cerebral, so they're thinking about like love, but in their heart like they're not really ready for it as of yet. Like they're more so thinking like, hey, does it feel safe for me to love? And like Samantha spends a lot of Sex in the City, like running from real connections, because she doesn't necessarily feel that the people that she's interacted with feel safe enough or have earned her affections. And this is sort of like the vibe that I'm getting from your person. I'm not necessarily seeing, like, again, connections or any sort of like intentions to connect with you in that way, but what I will do is pull a romance oracle. My deck is all jumbled up. So Spirit, what are this person's intentions for their connection? I definitely need a new setup. Deception. Yeah, so someone is wearing a false mask, self-masking this relationship. So yeah, I don't really think that they have any intentions to move forward in this connections as of right now. Energy is fluid and it can change. What it does feel like is that this person is really focused on removing this mask for themselves and figuring out what do they have to offer and how can they bring themselves into alignment to receive and to participate in a healthy partnership. So, yeah, sorry I couldn't bring you more positive news, but that is what I'm seeing. Thank you so much, my loves, for letting me read for you, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully. I'm wishing you a good rest of your day, wherever you're watching, and thank you so much for being here with me. Wishing you all love and light. Bye. Hi, Pal Twos. Welcome to your reading. So today we are going over what is your person thinking and feeling and looking at any intentions that they may have for your connection. So my lovely Pal Twos, you picked this gorgeous, gorgeous amethyst that may or may not focus. There we go. So to start off with, we're going to be doing an energy check just to get a vibe for if this is your pal before we get into what they're thinking, what's in their heart, and what's their 5D self may think. And then depending on that, we may look at their intentions or any other messages that they may have. I'm keeping it quite fluid depending on it. I'm going to be as honest as possible. And yeah, we will get into it. So before I get into it, I just want to note a couple of things. So when I was shuffling to get your person A and person B messages, person A, like, cards spilled out, so it feels like person A's guys are very excited and like very ready to do this, and person B came out very quickly, which seems to be the theme of this reading. So it feels like person A and person B are very into and like focused on this relationship so far. Will you focus? Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's get for person A. So person A, represented by the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and person B is represented by the Two of Cups. Oh my god, guys, this is so beautiful. The Two of Cups is my favorite, literally favorite card for romance readings. For love readings, Two of Cups is all about partnership and bliss and contentment and really that sort of commitment. And I like that the Four of Pentacles is actually in the reverse because it kind of has a vibe that these two people are looking at each other and looking at the connection from a new point of view. So for person A, like Four of Pentacles is really about preservation, but in the reverse, like it feels like this person is inning. Sorry about how I sound, and if you hear any like tapping, I'm trying really hard not to sneeze. My birthday was recently, and I got a bunch of flowers, and I love them, but I'm also allergic to pollen. And in my attempt to keep them going, they started to pollinate, and I'm not a happy camper. But yeah, back to your reading. So, person A is really about looking at the relationship from a new perspective. So, it feels like before, person A was holding on very tightly and was very sort of set on this relationship happening or this connection happening in one way. Whereas person A is recognizing that there is more like possibilities, there's more potential and scope for this relationship to happen in a myriad of ways, and really leaning into that. Person B is really thinking about this. I have to say it, guys, like even if you don't know this person, person B is in love. Um and the reason why I say that is because the Two of Cups always symbolizes that to me. It's all about like partnerships, right? But it's always for me like the romantic side of those partnerships. And person B, even if they haven't met you, they're thinking in terms of like, oh, like kind of like when you manifest and you're like, at least what I like to do personally, like if it's a new job or something, try and think about how does my life feel after I've gotten the thing that I'm trying to manifest. And a lot of the times, like it's that bliss and it's that loving feeling that I focus on to help me try and attract it faster. And it feels like that's kind of the energy this person is in, regardless of if they know you or don't. And even if they haven't said it, baby girl, baby boy, baby NB, this person is in love with you. And if you're person B, then you're in love with them. But there seems to be, like, what I like about the Four of Pentacles in reverse, like, it seems like these two people are on the same page. Like, two in numerology is a sign of partnerships, and four is all about stability. So, like, I see this as a really nice progression with the two and the four being like the foundation and the romance in the partnership, and that being what both people are focused on right now. So I'd say like you guys might be together out of all the piles I've done so far. So I'm gonna try and put this away. I have to get out my other citrine, but the amethyst seems to be locking it down. Okay, so I am so excited to share that today we're going to be using the Tarot and the City is limited edition. One of my really good friends made this deck. It's no longer in circulation, but for all my Sex and the City fans, we'll be pulling some cards. So we're going to be going over what's in your person's mind, what are they thinking, what are they feeling, what's in their heart, and what their 5D self has to say. So this came out already. So what is pile two's person thinking about their connection? Okay, your cards are coming out. Okay. Let me ask the question, please. What is pile two's person feeling? What's in their heart about this connection? I had the same issue in the other pile. Okay, I don't think I was in their shot, but what are they thinking? The cards keep falling. Please give me one card. You just had a bunch of cards fill out for what this person's thinking, feeling. So I feel like they're feeling a lot. I feel like you also wanted to come out. So I'll let you do that. And what does their 5D self? So this person is definitely focused. I need you to give me one card, please. This person is definitely focused on the connection. So what is their 5D self? Any other 5D cell. Nope. We got the King of Swords on the back of the deck. Sometimes I like to pull it, sometimes I don't. Really just depends. I think I'm gonna pull over all of the cards and sort of see. So we've got the King of Cups. Let me show you the card first. So King of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, which if you remember, that's the artwork for the box. For what they're feeling, we've got the Strength, Thinking, and then we have got the Page of Cups in reverse. And then Page of Wands for their 5D cell. Okay. So, give me one moment. I definitely needed to blow my nose. Okay. So, for some of these, I will be reading from the guidebook just because I love this deck and my best friend made it. So, we've got the Page of Wands for how the person is feeling about your connection in the 5D. So it's a Page of Wands is an enthusiastic and passionate individual. She's a bit unrefined as she represents a new beginning or learning curve. She's prone to feeling inspired and a bit impulsive. This card shows Maria, the artist Samantha has a relationship with, smashing plates at the height of their worst flight. Maria is an artist. She's passionate, but Samantha is bored of bass and talking about feelings. Maria proves just how fiery she is, but it's not just what Samantha wanted. So as it pertains to your connection, like in the 5D, this person is very much deeply attracted to you, I must say. All of their passion is like coming out. They are kind of getting this vibe of like their cup running over, even though there's a plate. Like they have so much that they want to express and show to you. And they may not necessarily be sure how to do that. But I'm getting very passionate energy from this person and from how they feel about you in the 5D. Like they definitely feel the 5D connection. And I like the fact that this attraction is coming through in the 5D because sometimes like the 5D vibes are very much like, like a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more like I like you, but this is giving me very passionate, like if you are a sexual person, they want to lay down with you, even in the 5D. And if not, they find you incredibly attractive and feel very lucky. So it's this sort of vibe of like what you can do. It kind of takes it to the extreme, but like with 5D things, I don't necessarily think it's a bad position or a bad thing coming out in the 5D because the 5D has 2 more dimensions that we can currently perceive, like being in the 3D plane. So I see it as just like adding that extra layer of intensity because 5D feelings are way more intense than we can feel in the 3D because there are 2 extra dimensions. So for how they're thinking, I think it's really interesting that the Page of Cups came out in reverse with the Strength. First of all, before I want to get the guidebook message for Strength because I love the scene, first of all, but also it feels like they're thinking about how I think if you guys are in the 3D, there's also a really good chance that they haven't really told you the depth of their feelings for you. And they're trying to figure out, this feels like it could be an internal battle. So I like the fact that the Page of Cups is facing the Strength, and even though the Strength is blindfolded and you have the Lion and Page of Cups like looking up at, this is Charlotte, like it seems like doing their best to try and get their attention. So I'm reading this as one of 2 ways. So it's either the person trying to figure out how, it's not really like the self-deception, but I feel like there's also a good chance that this person isn't, like symbiotic is not the right word, but they're not necessarily in alignment with what they're feeling a lot of the time. So it feels like they could have been doing a lot of suppressing, and they really want to, they're figuring out like, okay, like how do I let this mask down? How do I let this blindfold down? So I kind of like it from this position where the Page of Cups is upside down, trying to offer, sorry about losing focus there. Upside down, trying to get the strength person to see, trying to get Charlotte to see them in a new light, to be like, okay, like how do we like take off this mask? How do we get in touch with our emotions? Because they are really thinking about what is the best way to approach their feelings and how do they communicate that to you. And even if you don't know this person in the 5D, like they're really thinking about like, okay, like when you first meet, like how will they express themselves, because they don't want you guys to think that they're not interested with this Page of Cups in reverse. Like they really want you guys to see the cup that they have to offer, and they're trying to do the internal work so that they will be in a better position to. And if you do know this person and you are connected in the 3D, then I'd say like you guys very likely have a 5D connection as well. But importantly, they're really trying to like figure out how they can get themselves like the strength to share their emotions, because I think this is something, and this is why I really like Charlotte being depicted on the strength card, because we think often of strength being such this like physical thing, and like true strength, at least in my humble opinion, comes from like this nexus of when we're able to balance out like our emotional, our physical, our spiritual, and recognizing that not necessarily like feeling doesn't make you weak. Like, I don't know about you, but I always think like in romantic partnerships, like I'm a lot better at communicating my feelings. And I'm like, I'm really not. Like, I get really flustered. I get super nervous, and it's weird to be vulnerable in that way. Well, not weird, but it feels uncomfortable. So it feels like your person is trying to like figure out how they can get past this mask and embody this true strength, which is why I really like Charlotte being pictured here, because she is definitely the queen of like emotions and all of that. And like the strength, and the lion represents that more physical strength. So you could be dealing with a Leo here. Just wanted to add that because it's a major arcana. So for what they are feeling, I really like that the threes came out here, because it really feels like they think that you guys have a good partnership and a good foundation. So even if you haven't met, so they were thinking about like the Three of Cups is about friendship and celebration. And the Three of Pentacles, like they're in sort of counseling. And even though Charlotte doesn't end up with this man, who I won't bother you with, but it's like about putting in that work. Like they're not afraid to, and I like that for the heart space, because unfortunately, sweets, sometimes love isn't enough. And your person recognizes this, and like how they're feeling is that they're willing to put that work in, and they're willing to build that foundation. And like the threes kind of symbolizes like, and with the pentacles here, like a lot of triangles, and the triangle's like the most sturdy shape. And then for the King of Cups, like coming in how they're feeling, baby cakes, baby girl, baby boy, baby MP, like the King of Cups is about this mature development of their feelings, which is why I think that they do in fact love you, whether or not they know you or not, whether or not they've said it in the 3D or the 5D. In the 5D, they've definitely said it, but like there's been a maturation of their feelings for you. I kind of want to look at some oracle messages to look at their intention. You get the vibe. So, Spirit, can you tell me? I have no idea how. Spirit, can you tell me how Two's person's intentions are for their connection Okay, you've got a lot of cards and they keep pulling out. So say they were very excited. So yeah, attraction. So, I think you're a hot tamale. Give your relationship a chance. And religious factors. Your love life is being influenced by religious upbringing and spiritual path. So what I mostly get for religious factors is that they're looking to make some sort of commitment to you. So like in a lot of religions they have different like wedding ceremonies. So even though this is not the wedding card, so it's kind of like they're looking to make that 5D sort of commitment to you, whether that be through doing like a religious or cultural ceremony to buy your connection. This can be like, again, if you have met them in the 3D or not. So in the 5D, they'll be thinking about like, okay, like what does that look like? How would we build, like bring together our two cultures? Attraction, do I need to say more? They're very attracted to you. They definitely want to take you downtown, if you know what I mean. And then I can't wait to do an 18 plus reading. Like I really can't. And then give your relationship chance, work on your partnership. So again, like that 3 of Pentacle vibes, like they're very much committed to making sure that you guys can work on your partnership and can be together. And so what I'll do, just because this, I actually want to pull timing. So we're going to pull from our Moonology Oracle to see when the next like development in this connection could be. So this could be like if you know them, if you don't know them. Trying to shuffle on camera. Okay, so we've got 2 coming out. So you've got 3rd quarter moon and full moon in Aries. Will you focus? No. So a fiery climax approaches. So again, all this. And 3rd quarter moon. So I would say 3rd quarter moon for the next sort of like minor development, if that makes sense. So it could be for if you're not really connected to this person, when they'll text you. Obviously, if you're with this person, I'm assuming you're texting every day. They're not going to wait for the 3rd quarter moon to text you. But it could be for when you start to talk about like meeting each other's families, for example. And I'd say for like the full moon in Aries, like that's like the next big thing to happen. So whatever you guys talk about in the next 3rd quarter moon will happen by the time of the full moon in Aries. We have a solar eclipse coming up in Libra, but that's literally a couple days after this video is uploaded. So I don't remember, but if I do remember, I'll put it in to the captions. Otherwise, you can look this up. But yeah, that is all the messages I have for you guys, my dear. What a beautiful reading. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I'm glad we got to connect. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Sending you all my love and light. Bye. Hi, Power Threes. Welcome to your reading. So today's reading is all about what is your person thinking, feeling, and how do they feel in the 5D about this connection. And we might look at what their intentions are, just any other messages as it pertains to this connection. So sorry about my voice. I got a bunch of flowers for my birthday. I'm allergic to pollen. And I love flowers though, so I did this to myself really. But anyway, so you picked this gorgeous, gorgeous citrine. There we go. So for today's reading, we're going to start off with a very quick energy check, doing in person A, person B. And then we're going to look into what's in your person's mind, heart, and their 5D self. And look at any other messages that kind of make sense with what we feel for the connection. So if based on the energy check, you don't resonate with either side or about what I'm describing for your connection, then I would pick another pile. Or if none of the piles resonate, then this just isn't your reading for you today. But yeah, don't try and make the messages fit. I'm going to be as honest as possible about what I'm seeing to try and get as specific messages as possible while keeping it focused on like if you have at them in the 3D versus if you haven't. Ooh, so I feel a lot better. Without further ado, let's get into it. Put your crystal aside. So we've got for person A, the High Priestess, and for person B, the 10 of Pentacles. So what I do have to say, let me show you the cards. Ooh, not you flipping around. What I do have to say is the High Priestess person. So person A doesn't really feel like they're focused on the connection at present. It doesn't necessarily feel like something's come to pass. That could be if it resonates. But with them looking away, and even what I forgot to say in the beginning because my sinus is on fire, is that person A's cards took a lot longer to come out than they have been, and same with person B's. So person A feels like their energy is withdrawn and really focused on themselves. But person B with the 10 of Pentacles looks like they're looking to build like on the more material sort of side of their life. So I'm seeing this as like the two main people, and they're looking away from each other. So it doesn't really feel like either of their energies is super focused on it. It feels like person A's energy is withdrawn and really focused on themselves, whereas person B's energy is really about their material abundance, but also just their material world and looking at, okay, like how, like what practically, like what am I doing with my life and what can I build? And it really feels like they've taken their focus away from their connection to focus in on, you know, what kind of job do I have? How much money? Like, where do I live? And it's not to say at this point that there isn't an active connection going on, because I'm not really getting that there isn't, but it, sorry about that, just feels like both of these people's energy are more focused on themselves. So it could be that you guys haven't met yet, or it could be that you're taking this time of repose and reflection, or it could be that you guys are in separation, to be quite honest. So that's your energy check. I'm going to leave cards there. So for today, we are going to be using, I'm very excited to unveil this, the Tarot on the City deck. So this was made by my best friend, and it's limited edition, and it's unfortunately not sold anymore. But for our Sex and the City fans, we have our unofficial Sex and the City, unauthorized Sex and the City tarot deck, which we will be using. I'm going to take it and shuffle some cards, and I will be reading from the guidebook just because it's fun references to the show. So Spirit, can you please tell me what person, pile 3's person is, what's in their head about this connection? What are they feeling? Okay, so we've got this coming out. What's in their head about this connection? What's in their heart? What's in pile 3 person's heart? In pile 3 person's heart. That is way too many cards. That is is in pile 3, this person's heart. Okay, what is in pile 3's person's? What does their 5D self, what their higher self think about this connection? Okay. So something to note, like in the other piles that I've done so far today, like the cards really flew out. Whereas for your pile, my sweets, they've stayed kind of reserved. So it feels like this person's keeping whatever it is they're thinking about this connection very close to their chest. So to start off, we'll look at their 5D self. I'll flip them all over actually. So we've got the 6 of Pentacles. We've got the Strength card and the 7 of Pentacles under for how they're feeling, what's in their heart. We've got Temperance. And the Knight of Swords in reverse for what they're thinking. Okay, so I'm going to read from the guidebook for what their 5D self is. So just give me one moment. The 6 of Pentacles is a card of shifts, exchanges, and transformations that relate to resources, finances, and other tangible or physical things. This card shows Charlotte offering her engagement ring to Carrie to cover the cost of her down payment. Carrie threw a fit because Charlotte didn't offer her money when Samantha and Miranda both had. And despite the questionable tactic, it makes sense. It makes Charlotte see that she's been hoarding her wealth. When Charlotte shares her wealth with Carrie, they both gain a little more independence in different ways. This moment also reminds them both, that they can and they must depend on each other. So what I'm seeing for how your person is feeling is it feels like more of an energy sort of exchange, like within themselves, like they really don't feel like they're currently focused on this connection a lot, but what it does feel like is like they're trying to learn this lesson in the 5D about depending on each other and learning to depend on this connection. It feels like this person has been like a lone wolf for a really long time, whether or not you've known them in the 3D or if your connection's more in the 5D. So I'd say like your person's likely someone who, if it's been in the 5D or 3D, like they've been very single for a really long time. And they're not really sure how to go about this connection and this partnership, which is why their energy is very focused on themselves and things that's within their comfort zone to doing. So they're not giving freely of themselves here. Like they're more like, okay, like I'll suss you out. I can give you something, but it may not be, it'll be what's convenient for me, basically, is what like the 6 of Pentacles is giving. And that's kind of like in relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic. Some aspects of it will be convenient, but a lot of the times, like relationships are inherently inconvenient. And this person is trying to learn how to manage and hold the inconvenience so that they can enter into a connection. So I'm not necessarily seeing like whether or not that connection's with you or with another person, but that's kind of what's going on with their 5D self. With how they're feeling, so we've got Carrie, single and fabulous. So it really does feel like this person is focused on themselves, to be completely honest. It feels like something might have happened because with the Knight of Swords in reverse, like Knight of Swords I really see as like a go-getter card, but it feels like being in the reverse that there's a hesitation about moving forward. And so they're really trying to keep that sort of aspect to themselves. Just trying to pull from the guidebook. So after Carrie's humiliating New York Magazine cover and her self-imposed shut-in, she emerges back on the town fueled by too many tartinis and determined to reclaim her life. Single and fabulous. When Carrie comes face to face with her fear of ending up alone, Carrie chooses the moderate path. By deciding to listen to her higher self and just go home, Carrie draws on all this card has to offer: balance, moderation, and the fine line of the wiser path. So yeah, this person is definitely trying to figure out like how, if at all, they enter into a connection. Feels like this person's more in the terms of figuring out if they're ready. It's not coming through yet if it's like a really strong yes or a really strong no, but feels like there's this hesitation and trying to sort of like bring in balance. And a lot of like your cards have been about like one person on them. So it feels like this person is very much like still in this isolated, solitary energy. So for what's in their heart, so Seven of Pentacles in the reverse really just feels like a blockage. It really feels like this person doesn't know what to do and what kind of effort to put in. The same thing with the strength. Like I'm really tied to John to Charlotte being blindfolded here. And it gives me this vibe of like hesitation. Like this is really what I'm seeing for your person is a lot of hesitation. They don't really know what they're thinking. They don't really know what they're feeling. And it makes it really hard for them to think about your connection because they don't really feel like they have that like figured out within themselves. I'm gonna pull some oracle messages to see if we can get what are pile three's person's intentions for this connection. Pile three person's intentions. About the healing family issues. You deserve love. Pile three person's intentions. Ooh. And then finally we have release your ex. And then in the back of the deck, we've got separation in reverse. Will this focus? I really just feel like a beauty influencer doing this. So yeah, so it feels like this person is the reason why they're so apprehensive is because they've not really had, doesn't feel like they've had like strong models of examples for what a healthy partnership or dynamic is, either in people that they've seen around them, like with healing family issues, like their parents, close family members, but even in their own relationship experiences. So with this you deserve love and you are lovable, it feels like this person is really focused on healing that first, before they make any sort of move towards you. What I will say is what I saw twice while shuffling was wedding. So it feels like this person does want partnership and does want connection, but doesn't feel ready for it at this time. And what their focus is right now is healing their wounds. And it's not to say like there's ever a point where you're fully healed, because you're not. Like you work on things. I'm a huge believer in healing in community because there were many times, like for example, when my ex and I like separated, and I was like, oh yeah, like I've healed from that relationship, I'm fine. And when I started dating somebody that I liked for the first time, I was like, oh, and here is all the stuff that I have yet to have dealt with, that's coming up now. Great, fantastic. So it very much feels like your person is going through that process of trying to be pragmatic and recognizing that right now is not the best time for them to be focused on a relationship. Like they really need to be focused in on themselves and what they're feeling, so that they can move forward into a partnership. But it really does feel like if you guys know each other, you're not really connected. So it could be that this person's caught your eye. Because I did see passion when I was shuffling, and with separation in reverse, like it looks like they're trying to set themselves up to come forward, but they're just not there as of right now. So what I will do is pull some messages from my homemade deck, which is extremely hard to shuffle, but we will give it a try. What messages does Pal 3 person have for Pal 3? Ooh. Okay. So you've got, I have doubts, but I want to try. I am overwhelmed. So yeah, it looks like, I'll pick those up later. It looks like this person is really trying to get themselves in a position to come forward, but they're just not there yet, my sweets. Okay. So that is all the messages I have for you, my dear angel. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a good rest of your day whenever you're watching, and I'm wishing you all of my love and light. Bye. See you next time.